Yo, welcome to the show where the energy's flown. It's your boy dropping heat. This is the Ozone. Step into the arena where legends are made. From the courts to the fields, watch the highlights played. Football, hoops, baseball, it's all fair game. If it's sports, we bring the fire, put respect on the name. Stats and debates, we break it all down. From the rookies to the GOATs who wear the crown. No halftime, all grind, we're setting the tone. It's prime time, baby, you're in the Ozone. Yo, it's passion, precision, the plays we dissect. From the underdogs, grinding to the Hall of Fame vets. This is more than a podcast, it's a sports throne. Let's kick it off right, welcome to the Ozone.
You have entered the Ozone with Omar and Dave.
Let's go, baby. We are here, and you guys have officially entered the Ozone. It's your boy Omar here, and I'm going to be honest, we're feeling good. The good vibes are juicing. We dropped 2 episodes last week. SummerSlam show did pretty well. It did pretty well. Hey, we got a couple things right. Abracadabra. We know we're controlling the booking. What we're not controlling is what's going on with these baseball teams. Because one team we praised, then they stunk it up. And the other team is stinking it up, and then they do a little well, and then they stink it up again. But you know who never stinks it up? Is the best co-host in the business, super producer Dave. Brother, I've been asking you how's your week been going, but it's a new week. How we feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I ended up seeing, a quick side note, I ended up seeing Fantastic Four twice, which is the first time I've ever done that for a Marvel movie in quite some time. It'll tell you how much I...
Did you catch anything that you might have missed the first time watching it?
I wouldn't say I catched anything, and I didn't, you know what's crazy? I didn't watch any, like, reviews or anything that does, like, the Easter eggs. I didn't watch any videos after watching the movie. It was just one of those, like, enjoy it. Like, you know, I wasn't trying to look for details. I was just trying to enjoy the ride again. And, bro, Sue Storm, man. Yeah. Mother. She
carried the film. I'll say this. And I'll be honest. I did watch it that second time. I said that last week's episode. I will be watching it by the time the episode aired. And I'm not going to lie. I'm a little old man. Once I seen the movie the first time, my awareness is not as high. So there were some parts that I fell asleep on. Because I knew to fall asleep on. I'm like, this part, little talk. Let me wake up when Galactus comes on. So that did happen. The second time I watched it. But you know which team I wish I could fall asleep on, brother? And that's the New York Yankees. Let's get into it. This is the Pinstripes Report.
The Pinstripe Report.
All right, y'all, this is the Pinstripes Report. This is where we talk about this team in the Bronx that can't do nothing right. Brother, I got one word on the docket today. One word on the docket today. And it's the biggest word I think that's been talked about this whole weekend when it comes to the Yankees. And that word is accountability, which there is none in this organization. This Yankee team lacks accountability, and it starts with the manager, Aaron Boone. We had to change the entire direction of this show. We wanted to lead in with happiness. We wanted to lead in with Brian Cashman, bringing in the reinforcements, making the necessary moves to strengthen the bullpen, adding closer David Bettner, adding flamethrower former closer for the San Francisco Giants, Camilo Duvall, adding a reliable reliever, middle of the end bullpen, Jake Bird out of Colorado, adding Jose Caballero, who's got speed, who can play multiple positions. We wanted to start off the show highlighting the good moves. We wanted to start the show talking about how you crapped the bed Monday, but won 3 straight against Tampa. We wanted to start the show that way. But the Yankees do what the Yankees have been doing this past season. And Dave, don't edit this out. Playing like straight shit. This team is a mess. This team is an embarrassment to root for. This team makes mistakes that little league teams that play on Kelly Street in the Bronx don't make. This is embarrassing. You have Austin Wells. 1 out. Trey Grissom bunts, moves him over. Forgets how many outs it is, runs back to first base, and gets tagged out. Double play. You have countless errors from Anthony Volpe. Routine ground ball. What the hell are you double clutching for? Routine ground ball. You have your ass of a third base coach, Luis Rojas, where the play's right in front of you. Bullet line drive to the left fielder. The left fielder's got the ball before your runner touches third base. What do? You send him home. Bang, gets caught out. He's out by a mile. And there's still more. Then you get Josh Chisholm, who's more excited about OnlyFans dirtbag hoes behind the Yankees dugout because I personally seen it on Friday night. You're worried about those hoes instead of worrying about playing baseball. Routine pop-up, second base. You're on first, the play's in front of you. What do? You get caught. Double play. Jose Cabrera, we just traded for you. Starts off well, pinch runs for Ben Rice, a kid that's not in the lineup every day, but every time he's in the lineup, he hits. But you play old-ass Goldschmidt. You play Austin Wells, who's too focused on reviewing. Oh, I almost dropped the F-bomb. He's too busy ranking burritos, stadium burritos, than worry about getting his dusty ass in the cage and hitting. You bring in Jose Cabrera, pinch runs, he actually does well, steals the base, he ends up scoring. But then you make a trade at the deadline for a right fielder and outfielder, Austin Slater. What do? Let's not put him in. Let's leave Cabrera in right field. It's not like we have a 2-run lead in the 9th inning to end it. No, let's put him. You do it all the time with Dominguez when you put a defensive guy in there to lock in the game. Why don't you do it with Caballero? Nah, let's leave him. What happens? Ground, a base hit. Whatever the ball goes on this glove, you let the 2 runners score, and a guy who would have had a singles on third base with 1 out. Where's the accountability at? Austin Wells, the blunder I just mentioned, continue to play that game. Josh Chisholm, the blunder he made, continue to play in the game. Phil Nevin was our former third base coach, and even it took his ass a long time to get fired because he would send runners knowing they was going to get their ass caught at home. Luis Rojas has been doing this now for a couple years. Why is he still on the team? It starts with the manager. And obviously it goes up to Cashman and Steinbrenner. Where's the accountability out in this organization? The Dodgers made fun of us. Not only did they whip our ass in the World Series, gentlemen swept us. They made fun of us the entire offseason. That we lack the fundamentals, that the Yankees are basically, we're a joke. And we've done nothing to change that narrative. This is not happening with Joe Girardi managing. And this is why they got rid of Joe Girardi. Because Joe Girardi get in your ass. Joe Girardi got on Gary Sanchez's fat, lazy ass. And they got rid of him because they wanted to put in Boone, who's too focused on being a player's manager instead of being a damn manager. Brother, I know I said a lot, but this is honestly, this is unbelievable, brother. This is unbelievable. And you know what? And I saw this on Twitter, and I don't want to take the heat off Aaron Boone, because Aaron Boone is the main reason, because you need to start putting your foot in players' asses. But you know what? I think a little bit has to do with Aaron Judge as well. bro, you're the captain. You need to start putting these players and be like, man, get your stuff together. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry. I took a lot of time, but this needed to be said.
No, and you know what? This is a rightfully called like off the script moment. You know, sometimes we discuss them, and there's a chance that like, yo, you might go off the script because of how upset you are. This is a very impromptu one that just occurred, and at the end of the day, I'm happy with it because you said all the things that needed to be said about the Yankees at this state. You made trades at the deadline that we felt like, all right, cool, things are gonna go great. And guess what? Bad debuts from these guys. Bednar shit in the bed, and I'm not even gonna edit that out. Duvall shit in the bed. Bird shit in the bed. McMahon shit in the bed. Like, these are things that are just like upsetting to me because it's just like, what did we make these moves for? To continue the same blunders that we've been doing all season? Right now, the Red Sox just happen to just sneak past us right there in second place in our division.
They deserve it.
Guess what? I won't be surprised if we don't get that lead back. Unfortunately, our worst nightmare has happened. Now the Blue Jays and Red Sox are ahead of us, and it's. I'm very upset with this, and at the point is that if anybody asks me, we're fans, people know that we do the show, so they'll be like, yo, like, how's the Yankees? And I literally have default to like, I'm a Mets fan. What are you talking about? It's a joke. It's a joke. At the end of the day, I do support the Mets now, but at the end of the day, it's not fun to talk about the Yankees these days because it's like these are like. This is things that I expect from Little League. This is things I expect from maybe college baseball, which I don't watch, but I expect these kind of things to happen there. These guys are getting paid way too much to make these kind of blunders. I understand an error happens once in a while, but the consistency, because it's consistent at this point, the consistency of it's happening is mind-boggling. And Aaron Boone, you're just there, and you're just like, yep, I feel confident in this team in the long run. And it's like, I don't care about the long run. Right now, I care about what the is happening. I don't care drop the F-bomb. I care about what's happening on the field right now, because guess what? We get to the playoffs, we're just going to get swept home. And guess what? What was that all for? This Yankee team has shown us that, you know what? If it's not Aaron Judge in that lineup, it's bust. That's it. It's completely Aaron Judge or bust. And guess what? Even that doesn't save us when he's on the field.
Yeah. His magic words are, it's right in front of us. It's right in front of us.
And I guess they're blind. I guess they're all blind.
No, he's right. You know who's in front of us? The Toronto Blue Jays and the Boston Red Sox. You're damn right. They're right in front of us because we're stepping back. I'm going to be honest, man, this team, like I said, we wanted to start the show well. The irony of Friday's game of blowing a 6-0 lead and then blowing a 9-4 lead is that every player, and I'm telling you, bro, first of all, the Marlins sold out Friday and Saturday, 34,000 plus. I was in the building for both. I did not attend Sunday's game, and I'm going to be honest, I don't care what goes on Sunday's game. Obviously, this recording, we don't know. If the Yankees get swept, whatever, the Yankees win. I don't care what it is because this was a crapper of a weekend. But Friday's game, obviously, it was 70-30 Yankees. That's not even up for debate. The Yankees are what sold out that building. But Friday night, brother, 2 1/3 innings, 9 runs, 10 hits were all given up by the 3 big pitchers that we acquired during the deadline. Jake Bird gave up the grand slam. David Bednar gave up, I believe it was the game-tying home run. And then obviously Camilo Duvall blew the game in the 9th. And then Jose Cabrera, who we traded for at the deadline, made the blunder in the outfield. It was really hard to watch. It was a tough loss. And then Saturday, there's just no life in the lineup. It just showed no life. I think the Yankees managed 2-3 hits. The game was done in 2 hours. It's ridiculous. You get Josh Chisholm making the mistake, and I'm not lying. Brother, there was 3 girls. 3 girls, because I had great seats for game 1. I was sitting right behind the Yankee. I was sitting maybe 3 rows behind first base. And there were 3 girls right on the dugout, like the first row behind the Yankees dugout. And every time the Yankees were coming on the field, Jazz would turn around. They clearly got tickets from him because he made it his business to acknowledge them. They're talking to him, and that's all he cared about. That's all he cared about. Like, I get it. That's his first time back in Miami since the trade. I can understand if it was personnel that worked in the building. Like, hey, you've been there for a few years. He's saying what's up. Obviously, personnel that you work with or whatever. No, his focus was on them. His focus was on them girls.
And my
and then
thing
you
is,
out here, and then I can understand if you hitting bombs. You hitting bombs and you balling. I could give a damn who the hell you're cheering to, you're clapping, but then you're making mental mistakes. And you know what? This is where there's no accountability, brother. Is that his post game reaction is like, oh well, I've been here before. Like, I know the stadium. I thought they were gonna try to deke us and get me out at second. Like, I would want me off the base paths. Like, I would do it again if I had to. You know what? And it's funny. I told a Yankee fan that was sitting right next to me. I was like, I would much rather have him be out at second. I would than to go do what he did. And it's like that's where the accountability is. And Aaron Boone took him to the hallway and they spoke. I don't give a damn. Aaron Boone should have sat his ass down. Everybody was like, wait a minute. Why is Jackson going to come back on the field? Same thing with Austin Wells when he made that stupid ass mistake earlier in the week, in the same week. All right, bro.
And I get it, Judge Chisholm, you got the girls there for you, or whatever the situation is, and I guess that's fun, right? The life and style of a young man playing baseball. But you know what's great about the stories that we hear about Jeter, and we knew some from personal ball boys who used to hang out with Jeter, and you know what's the best part? Handle your business off the field. Handle your business out of the stadium. Do that whenever you want on your free time. At the end of the day, and this is my thing, you are there to get paid to play a game. You are not working a hard job that people out on oil rigs. You're not fishermen. You're not these kind of hard jobs that people are. You're getting paid a game to play baseball. And you can't even do that correctly because you're focused on chasing the next piece of ass that you're going to get. And I'm not going to...
No, don't blur it out. No, don't edit that out. Don't edit that out because it's true.
It's completely different when you have, somebody let's say Adenobie, how he looked when Sonny Lee was in the stadium in MSG. But guess what? He performed.
I was about to say, he dropped 35 or something.
He performed. And you know what? I said it then, and I say it now. They're apparently friends, but guess what? Knicks, get her courtside tickets next season.
Get her courtside or Anne Hathaway. One of the two. Because Adenobie walks out. But you're right.
And
it's because
handle your business off the field, please.
And that's why, not to change subjects, this is why I had so much respect this past week when I heard Cam Ward they talked about his work ethic. And Cam Ward was the number one pick of this year's NFL draft that he'll be quarterbacking for the Tennessee Titans. And they asked him a question about his work ethic. Apparently, he's getting up at 4 or 5 a.m., gets to the facility, work on his game. And he's like, well, I see my dad get up 4 a.m. every day for a job he hated, but he had to do it to feed us. Why can't I get up at the same time for a job that I love doing? And honestly, from those comments, bro, I don't even need to see him play. I think he's going to be a good pro. Just because of that mindset, that I think he's going to put the work in. And it was a gentleman I spoke to at the Marlins game. And I got to correct you a little bit, brother, on the college baseball thing. College baseball, they're not making those damn mistakes, brother, because they have the fundamentals. There's still no ego. These guys got egos where they go so nonchalant in fielding, and especially as the Yankees. And this is where Aaron Boone takes no accountability, brother, because when they asked him about it, he deflects. What does he go? He goes, oh, we're not the only team making these sort of errors. We're not making... No, what he said is, and I'm paraphrasing, we're not a team that's making more errors than most of the teams in the MLB is what you would think. I don't give a damn what the other teams are doing. I care about what this team is doing. I care about... Anthony Volpe has 17 errors, the most of any shortstop in the game. And apparently, you know what? We probably need him to make an error, brother, because that's the only time he ever hits. When he makes an error, that's when he gets a hit. You know what I mean? It's like being a point guard where it's like, man, the only time we can get an assist is when you turn over the ball. So it's like, bro, it eliminates you something because you're giving up a run with your error. You know what I mean?
And brother, I definitely want to move on from the Yankees, but I just have to make this one side comment before we go over the schedule ahead. This is the makings and shows you what is a great coach. Brother, do you think, and I'd like to switch sports up, but do you think a Tom Coughlin would have used another team or other teams in the NFL as an excuse? Do you think Bill Belichick would have done that? Do you think Popovich would have done that.
I'm gonna be honest.
None of those
brother.
coaches would do that.
A coach we just got rid of, Tom Thibodeau, would never say that. Tibbs would never say that.
So yeah, that tells you exactly what kind of person we're dealing with at coaching. And guess what? We secured his job because he got to the World Series.
Yeah, we secured his job 100%. We secured his job 100%. Just some injury news before we get to the schedule and wrap it up. You damn right, brother, because they don't deserve this much time. Johnny Loizaga was placed on a 15-day IL with a right mid-back tightness. I knew something had to be up because he just hasn't had the season that we're normally accustomed to. And Luis Hill did get reinstated, so I do believe he's pitching today, Sunday, as of this recording against the Marlins. So let's get to the schedule ahead, brother. The Yankees continue the road trip. They got 3 against the Rangers starting today, or 8 p.m. Tuesday as well, and then Wednesday they got a 2:30 game. I'm definitely not watching. I could give 2 craps about the Yankees. I'm not devoting my gym time to these clowns. And then they got a weekend against the Astros that I think we're going to get our ass kicked. Let's just put it like that. I think the Astros are a pretty good damn baseball team. I'm going to be honest. They made some key moves that we'll talk about in quick hits. But brother, I got the Yankees losing 2 out of 3 to Texas. Texas has been hot. They have the pitching. Texas has been hot. I know we get Aaron Judge back, so we are going to get Judge back. I think he's going to come back Tuesday. But like you said, brother, like it's getting to the point where it's not even going to matter with Judge, because outside of Judge, Belly, and Ben Rice, I would say they're the most consistent hitters. Like we ain't getting much. So I think we lose 2 out of 3 to Texas, and we lose 2 out of 3 to Houston.
Honestly, bro, there's nothing to be happy about this team. Nothing. So I got us losing both series. Then that's exactly.
Yep. Let's move on. Let's move on to the team across town, because they had a hot start. We praised them last week. I was jumping on the ship, but then they kind of regressed a little bit as well. So let's get into it. This is the Amazing Rundown.
The Amazing Rundown. It's about the Mets, baby. Love the Mets. All right, baby. Let's go. Get a home run, baby. Love the Mets. Let's go, Mets.
All right, y'all. This is the Amazing Rundown. This is where we cover them boys from Queens. And, brother, talk about a yin-yang of a week for the Mets. We gave them praise. You know, they had a 7-game winning streak going on, and then they go to San Diego, and they get swept in San Diego. I believe the first game was a good one. The first one was a tight one. They lost. What was it? The first game they lost 6-7. That was an extra inning affair, which I must confess, I also went to sleep on that one, brother. I went to sleep on that one. Yeah, I went to sleep on that one because I do remember the Padres was up 6-5. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I just don't feel the Mets are going to win this game. I went to sleep, and I woke up, and I realized that the Mets did tie the game, but then they lost it. So I'm like, all right, cool. I was happy. I knew you would have got on me. Then they followed up with, honestly, 2 games that weren't close. They lost 7-1 the second game, and they lost 5-0 here. But then they lose the opener against the Giants 4-3, and then they won on Saturday 12-6. Obviously, guys, of this recording, we don't know if the Mets were to win this series. But, they also made some acquisitions that I thought was needed. So shout out to David Stern. They brought in the center fielder that they needed, Cedric Mullins. Obviously, they did not get Luis Roberts. They didn't get any of the big ones. Like, obviously, Mullins, he's a 30-30 guy in his prime. He's not the same player. He's 30 years old. He is a Rentu. He's batting .229, 15 home runs, OPS 735. I believe his first game, he had 1 at bat, and then on Saturday he went 1 for 4, scored twice, stolen base. But the big part, brother, was we talked about the Mets. I think they needed to address starting pitching, get a bat, and get the relievers, and they got the relievers. They got Ryan Helsley from the Cardinals. Phenomenal. 3-1, 2.92 ERA. His whip is 1.41. Like, he's a stud. Everyone knows he's a stud. You know what I mean? He comes in, he gets strikeouts. Look, his first debut on Saturday, 1 inning, 3 strikeouts. Like, the guy's a stud. And then this is what I want to talk about, Tyler Rogers. Now, Tyler Rogers is a vet, having a phenomenal season. He is also a rental, but a lot of people feel like the Mets gave up a lot for him. I'm gonna be honest. I am not I'm not the one to hug prospects. I'm gonna be honest. Prospects are like draft picks in the NBA. You know what I mean? It's a lottery ticket. You don't know what they're gonna pan out. And right now, this Mets team, they feel, as they should, that they have a legit shot, brother, in winning. Winning it all. And I'm sorry, I would trade a championship for a prospect that became a Hall of Famer any day. Because you got the championship. That's the ultimate goal. I would rather have a championship than that guy that's an all-star for 10 years and we never win anything with him. You know what I'm saying? So we get so caught up with the future and not think in the moment. And David Stern made moves that he's thinking of this season, 2025. He's not thinking of what this prospect's going to become. As Josh Hart would say when it came to the Mikal Bridges trade. I'm not worried about guys in junior high school right now. We're worried about guys that can help us win. And although the Yankees gave less for Duvall, who's a little bit younger, has years of control, than what the Mets gave up for Rogers, but the Mets felt this was the move to make. Now, I'll say this, though. I do think David Stern should have gotten another starter. Because, like I said, you're seeing Clay Holmes dwindle down a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, yes, the bullpen is it's basically what the game has evolved to, is shortening the game and having a stacked bullpen. The Yankees are doing the same thing, so I don't want to just crap on the Mets. The Yankees are doing the same thing. But you're going to need starters in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, you can't always constantly go to these relievers. So I think that's the only thing I wish David Stern would have done, is to get another arm, and he wasn't able to do that at the deadline.
Yeah, and, I will give him credit for what they did do. Cedric Mullins is a great defensive upgrade in what they needed in center field. The bullpen, they got the bullpen depth that they actually needed as well. So they addressed two areas that we feel like they needed. I don't know if Mullins is the guy with the bat that they actually needed for that lineup, but as far as defense goes, yes, he's that upgrade there. But you're right. The starting pitching, not getting somebody there, is going to definitely affect them with the way that the NL is just shaping up going into the playoffs. The Brewers are hot right now. The Dodgers are still the Dodgers. And
the Phillies made some big moves.
The Phillies made the big moves. And I read a story about how the Minnesota let him keep the Undertaker bell. So now you have to worry about that. Don't let it be a close game. Don't let it be a close game.
Yeah, I'm not going to front. Johan Duran got the same entrance as he had in Minnesota. And I'm going to be honest, I've never seen it. It's fire, bro.
Yeah,
it's
fire.
Like,
it is funny. Like, the way that Minnesota phrased it was that they traded it with him. Like, they traded the entrance.
It might one up Edwin Diaz. And I like Edwin Diaz. Edwin Diaz is fire. I think it's, brother, if you ever can, obviously it's a crapshoot, because it's like, you don't know when the closer's coming in or whatever. It really depends on the way the direction of the game is going. But man, you experience Edwin Diaz thing in person is crazy. Everybody does get lit with that one. But yeah, I think right now, as of this recording, the Mets do hold a half-game lead. This is going to go down to the wire. This race for the NL East, and we spoke about the importance of the Mets getting home field throughout the playoffs. They need it. They are a much different team on the road than they are at home. We've seen it. You look at that series in San Diego. That series in San Diego told me everything I needed to know. You know what I mean? Because I do think the Mets are a better team than the San Diego Padres, but they're not proving it. Just when they were making strides on the road. Last week, we said there were 2 games under 500. Now they're back to 6. They're 25-31 on the road, but they're at home. They're 38-17. That is the best home record in baseball. I think the Blue Jays right now, are 38-18. They have the second best home record. The Mets are almost unbeatable at Citi Field, and that is very important for them to hold that, because I do think when they get on the road, although they have veterans and that could switch, but we have to go off the stats and everything that we got now, brother. They haven't proved that they can beat teams at their level on the road. So right now, other than that, they got Mania back. Kodai Singer's Kodai Singer. Frankie Montas, they look like they're going to be, I think, obviously they have to go with this rotation. It is what it is at this point. So I like the moves, as I said, what David Stern made. The lineup, I don't know what the lineup was. I will be honest, I didn't watch because I was at the Yankee games this past weekend. I really didn't get an opportunity to see what was the lineups for their game, what their games is. So obviously with the acquisition of Cedric Mullins, it basically told me that they, although McNeil played solid center field, McNeil actually had a highlight of the week in center field at the Ozone, but it looks like they want to go with more a traditional center fielder. So then that's going to move, McNeil more to second and Platunin, I would assume, because you have a logjam at third base. You could put Mark Vientos at DH, but then you have Beatty, you have Mauricio. So that's something that Mendoza is going to have to come up with. I'm going to look at the lineup one. So I before we go on, brother, I just want to move. I want to see the lineup. What was Mendy's lineup for Friday, real fast, and then I guess we can get an idea of. So let me look at the box score. So the lineup he went with, at center field. He did pitch. Oh, okay. So he played Taylor. I think that's more because of the deadline. So that was more Mullins, and then he had McNeil at second, and then he had Vientos at third with DH and a starting Marte. So I think that's more based off the pitch. I don't think that's anything that we're going to see in the playoffs, because I think starting Marte is not going to be their starting DH going forward. Let's look at Saturday. I think Saturday would be more of a tell of, so he had Nimmo at left. Okay. I think this is going to be the lineup going forward for the Mets. I do think so. You had Nimmo left, right? The regular Lindor, Soto, Alonso, and then you have McNeil DH. I think you might see more Vientos in that role. Mauricio at third, Beatty at second, and Mullins at center. I think that's going to be more the lineup. But and we didn't talk about this in the Yankee thing. I think the Yankees are going to have an issue because when Aaron Judge comes back, he can't play the field, so he's going to have to DH. And as I told the Yankee fan in the building when we were at the game, feelings are going to have to get hurt, because you got to play Ben Rice. And maybe that means sitting either Austin Wells or limiting the playing time of Austin Wells or Paul Goldschmidt. The Mets are going to have this issue as well. Somebody's feelings are going to have to get hurt. You're going to have to play the hot bat. You're going to have to play better defense. I know Mark Vientos is starting to heat up, but Mark Vientos is not. He is far less of a third baseman defensively than Beatty and Mauricio. Beatty is starting to click. And Mauricio, I think, has the most upside as far as like a balance between bat and defense. So I think that's going to be somebody's feelings going to have to get, or somebody's going to get left out in the lineup between the combination of Mauricio, Vientos, Beatty, and Jeff McNeil. And even Starlin Marte, because Starlin Marte I know he's in the DH role when they play lefties, but somebody's feelings going to have to get hurt. And that's it. It is what it is. When you're trying to win, brother, and you don't have as much flexibility in your lineup, somebody's feelings is going to get hurt, and I don't care. But let's get into the schedule ahead for the Mets because, it's funny because they continue their homestand as they got 3 against the Guardians. And Cleveland is an interesting team because although their record, I believe they're under 500, they're still feisty. You know what I mean? They're still a team where it's like, yeah, they're a little under. They're under 500. They're actually over now because they won 4 straight. Yeah, there we go. So they're 2 games over 500. They won 4 straight. I'm gonna be honest, as far as like wild card goes, if you're a Yankee fan, and this is what got me a little upset with Met fans, they were still rooting for the Phillies. when they played the Yankees last week, and it's like, bro, like honestly,
What did you want that team to lose? What did you
yeah,
want
like take your hate on the side, bro. Like that's yeah, exactly. Like you should be going for the Yankees. The team is on your ass in the division. So right now, I'm rooting for the Mets. I'm rooting for the Mets right now. Cleveland's only 2 games behind the final wild card spot. The Yankees only have a 3.5 game lead against the Guardians in the wild card. So let's go Mets. But it's gonna be a tough series. It's gonna be a tough series. But as I said, the Mets are a very good home team. So I feel comfortable and I feel confident saying that the Mets will win 2 out of 3. Now, the weekend series is a little different because they're playing the Brewers, and the Brewers
are the best team in baseball right now. As of this
they are record-wise, they are the best team in baseball. Yes, which is it's crazy. The Brewers, it's when they make a couple moves, they get rid of a few guys, and David Stern came out of the Brewers. He was their GM. Man, like this team just finds a way to win. They have, like you said, brother, good call on that. They are 66-44 as this was recording. They do have the best record in baseball. They're 6-4 in their last 10, but they won 2 straight. I think the Mets lay an egg in this series. I think this would be a true test, though. Because you're playing such a team that's at your level or arguably maybe above. At their home, this is going to be a big test for the Mets. But I'm going to go off, as much as I feel confident with them playing well at home, I got to keep that energy with the road. And the road tells me they don't fare too well. So I'm going to go 2 out of 3 Cleveland, as I mentioned, in Citi Field, that the Mets will win. But I got them dropping 2 out of 3 to the Brewers at Milwaukee. Come on, new Mets fan, what's up? You a little bit more confident than I am?
Nah, I don't know. In that Guardian series, I could see them winning that one, but I could see them losing that Brewer series. Right now, like the Brewers actually play good away from home and away. Like home and away, sorry, let me correct that statement. They 36-20 at home and 34-24 away. So they can play both. So I definitely could see them losing 2 out of 3 against the Brewers.
Yeah, they're a balanced team. The Brewers are a very balanced team. And this is so funny. This is why you can't overreact in April. The Yankees played them opening series, bombing them up. And this is why you can't overreact. This is why you can't overreact in April. You can start doing it in August because the season's almost over. This is going to be a true test for the Mets. This is a big week for them because just before we move on, brother, because I want to see the Phillies week. Just to counter, and the Phillies, their schedule's a little lighter. Well, not necessarily. They have the Orioles 3 games set, and they have Texas. So you can actually make some ground. You can actually create a little space because the Phillies have their schedule's not so light as well. Because although the Orioles' record is what it is, they can hit. They can hit, and Texas. We spoke about it in the Yankee segment. Texas is rolling. They're having a hot summer. So the Mets try to make some ground. But guys, we got some big news when it comes to the ozone. Dave and I, we have brainstormed through this. As we know, guys, football season is approaching. Football season is king, not only in New York, but it's king in this country. And the ozone has to adjust. So in order to adjust to give you guys the best coverage that we can for the NFL season, this requires us now to move our start time. So guys, starting on September 6th, I believe it is. Hold on, let me just look it up. No. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that. Starting September 10th, guys, that is a Wednesday. September 10th will be the first date of when the ozone will be airing. The ozone will no longer be airing on Mondays at 5 p.m. Starting September 10th, Wednesday, we will be airing going forward from there. Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Dave and I have come together and we've made that decision because that is the best way that we can provide you guys the best coverage of the NFL. And definitely that means giving you guys the best coverage when it comes to our Giants and Jets. And I say that just me speaking because Dave could give two craps about the Jets. Dave shows a little compassion for the Giants, but the Jets, he don't give a damn. But guys, starting September 10th, Wednesday, will be the new start day, because the time is going to be the same, 5 p.m., but the start day for the Ozone going forward will be Wednesdays, September 10th. So our final, let's just say Monday, that will be airing will be, I think it will be September...
Brother,
it would be September 1st, Labor Day. Yeah.
So I actually want to bring you. I think we may take a break that week because I'll be in Miami with you. But I think we may take a break for that 1 week, just 1 week.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Labor Day. Yeah, you coming down to the 305. That's right. I forgot about that.
We may.
Yeah, let's take a break. We're gonna take Labor Day off. Honestly, I think that's a great idea. You know, Dave and I have been rolling through. We've worked through holidays. Through this, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, and it's funny enough, I'll have to film. Yeah, because look, even when we travel, we filming. Because the week before that, I'll be in New York, so I'm gonna film in New York.
Right.
So guys, the episode, our August 25th episode, we will break down the August 25th episode. We will have like the previews of breaking down the NFL season ahead, and our first episode coming from the Labor Day break will be September 10th. Obviously, guys, we will be reminding you guys weekly about our new start time, September 10th. And we got some cool segments that we're going to be introducing. We obviously, just the same as we have for baseball, we have for football. The Giants will get their own segment, the Jets. And then, guys, baseball fans, obviously, we don't want to just have a 3-hour show. We will condense baseball, but the coverage is not going to change. We're just going to cover the Yankees and the Mets all in one segment. It'll just be a New York baseball segment. So we're not going to shortchange you guys. We want to show love also to our baseball fans. We also don't want to just curve you guys once football starts, but we just won't have the Pinstripes for Sports and the Amazing Rundown. We'll have an entirely new baseball segment that covers both.
Until the playoffs. Until the playoffs.
September. Because I'm going to be... it's mainly September because, honestly, I really think the way these teams are looking, we're probably going to only have to cover one in the playoffs. And unfortunately, it ain't these guys. The way it's looking. I'm sorry if I'm not that optimistic. But guys, let's get into a segment that gets a little quick. This is Quick Hits. All right, y'all, this is Quick Hits. This is where we cover everything around the globe. The hits come at you so quick, you don't see it coming. Brother, we kicking off Quick Hits with our very own New York Knicks, as Mikal Bridges agreed to a 4-year, $150 million extension, baby, with a player option for the 29-2030 season and a trade kicker. Mikal took a slight discount from the $156 he could have gotten to give the Knicks a little bit of flexibility to build the team around. Now, brother, was this the right move the Knicks did in locking up Mikal?
I think it's the right move because it kind of gets us out of that whole conversation of the Giannis move, if we're going to make a move for him or not. You know, you keep him a little bit over the under the max of what we could have been giving him. And then right now, I think if I'm not mistaken, Mikal is probably the longest signed player on our team at this moment because I believe, if I'm looking at it correctly, going into that year, OG and Jalen will be unrestricted free agents, so they have the option to re-sign. But right now, Mikal, I think, is the longest signed going forward. This is the right team. Yeah, on paper. So this is a good way to keep the core in together going into another year. We keep on talking about it. Yes, we got rid of Tibbs. 2 games removed out of the, to make it to the finals, but this is a core that you want to see at least grow and try to give them a shot and see what happens, because at the end of the day, we did make an upgrade getting Mike Brown, or we'll see, let that play out as well, but I think it was the right move to at least keep that core together and then see how we move forward. You also do leave a little bit of money on the table in case you want to bring in another vet or somebody else as a signing. So is it the right move? Yes. Will we, how it plays out later on is more so what we want to see. What you think, bro?
No, 100%. You know what I mean? I've been a big Mikal Bridges fan. I know some feel like we slightly overpaid, but you got to think about it like this. What Mikal, his attributes and what he brings to the game, those guys are going for a whole lot more. He's still a 3-D guy. He coming off the 1 year. I think Mikal is going to have a bounce back year. given the way how he played in the postseason. Look, this Knicks team, Jalen Brunson set the tone when he took a pay cut. I think it was only right that Mikal did the same. And now you lock down this core for the next 3 to 4 seasons. And at the end of the day, as much as the Knicks want to add guys like Giannis and add all these different guys, the problem with the Knicks is the Knicks need to build continuity within this group. Because honestly, as we touched on, brother, yes, the defense was flawed at times. However, we felt what hindered us from reaching the finals was our depth. And right now, the Knicks have addressed that in the offseason. You locked down Mikal Bridges. Now that keeps us away from the second apron, at least for this season. Next season, we're gonna be approaching that second apron. That's something for Leon Rose and the team to figure out. What happens with Mitchell Robinson? I think that's the biggest question. But the Knicks, you got to shout out to Leon Rose because the day that they gave Mikal the extension, he is still eligible to be traded by the deadline. So that's something to look out for. I doubt that'll happen, but that's something to look out for, brother.
Yeah, and the other thing that I will know also, the other thing that we also consider for the Knicks is how overworked they were with Tibbs. And the hope is to see how does Mike Brown adjust this lineup to, play with our depth in our bench. So we hopefully can see more longevity out of these players going forward as well. So that's something else to note. Moving forward, so we're staying with the NBA. And speaking of extensions as well, as all NBA star Luka Doncic is staying with LA. The Lakers have locked in their franchise centerpiece on a 3-year, $165 million max extension, including a player option for 2028 per agent Billy Duffy, parentheses WME basketball via ESPN. Did the Lakers just secure their future, or is this move still risky?
Honestly, the only thing risky about Luka would be his weight. And he looks like he's addressed that this offseason. He's on the cover of Men's Health. And you know what? Not to get sidetracked, Stephen A., you're a dirtbag, bro. Because even like you throw shade about the guy being fat. Now the guy's in shape. And you go, whoa, I don't care about guys that get in shape during the offseason. I want to know if you stay in shape during the season. Shut the hell up. You know what I mean? You don't know what you're talking about. At the end of the day, give the guy props. The guy changed his diet in the offseason. I take fat Luka Doncic over most players anyway. But, obviously, brother, they made this deal. When they made the deal, yes, it shocked the world. But we all knew that was, okay, this is the move because we know when LeBron eventually leaves, we have the face of the Lakers. So it only makes sense this is not a risk at all. Because even if the Lakers, obviously they would want him to bring a championship. Even if he doesn't, he's still a known face in the league. He's still going to sell tickets. So at the end of the day, this is not a risk at all for the Lakers unless he were to get a serious injury, which, Luka really hasn't had. Yes, he had some injuries, but never like an Anthony Davis level. So, no, I don't find this to be a risk at all, I'm going to be honest. Luka's a top 5 player, and he's young, and you locked him down.
Yeah, and for me, in my opinion, with the Luka stuff, like, number one, when it comes to his weight, and this applies to all sports, I'd rather my athlete come into shape going into the season than care about their weight during the season. They're playing. They're gonna stay in shape. It's about the shape that you come in starting the season that kind of gets you upset. Like, what were you doing all off season? When it comes to Luka, we all said it, franchise player going forward. The Lakers did the right thing. The only thing I ever have concern with Luka is his defense, because that is the one area of his game that if he improved, Luka's a top player in the league, because I think he could be better than Joker. And I say Joker just because of Jokic, and I like the way he comes off. But I think, like, if you give him defense, he's better than Joker. Like, I really do. So that's the area where I would like to see Luka improve. But it was the right move by the Lakers. LeBron's only going to get older. He's going to stay around for another year. So we just hope that. No, and it's just facts. I'm not trying to shade the guy.
There's no shade. It's no shade.
It's just funny.
It's just the way you said it. It's the way he said he's only going to get older.
He's only going to get older, so you would hope that, this at least helps with the run going forward and maybe make a push towards the playoffs.
I'm down for basketball season to start. But go ahead, brother. You finished? I don't know.
I'm done.
Yeah, because baseball is not it. But baseball did have a trade deadline this past week, and some major moves. Some major players were moved. As we touched on earlier, Johan Duran went to the Phillies, Eugenio Suarez to the Seattle Mariners, Mason Miller went to the Padres, and Carlos Correa is returning to the Astros. Brother, a lot of players are moved. Which player do you think is going to play the biggest impact on their new team going forward?
I think with the way that this NL East run is going, I think Duran is the most important signing out of these. The one I laugh at is more so Carlos Correa, because you went to the Twins thinking that you were going to play third base and they never did anything to improve anything for you. So haha to you to go and having to go back to the Astros as you try to escape them, and now you're happy that I'm back. But no, I think the Rams, I think the biggest signing in that, or the biggest move that they made, because the Mets have something to worry about should it ever come to close games. And, you know, you guys praise how good you guys did against the Phillies last year, and you better not hope that you're running into them in the playoffs. What you think, bro?
Oh no, I gotta agree with the Johan Duran. I think that was a piece. Whenever you can steal a piece that your division counterpart is trying to acquire, and you know they were linked to Johan Duran for a while, and you know you just add him to an already good bullpen that the Phillies have, and the Phillies already have good starting pitching. I'm not worried about the Correa thing. Funny enough, when I was at the Yankee game, they mentioned that. I'm like, Correa's not the same player that he was when he was in Houston in his first run. Eugenio Suarez to Seattle, I think, is going to it's going to help because you're putting him in that lineup already with Kyle Raleigh and a Rosarena and Julio Rodriguez. So that lineup is going to thump. But I would go with Duran when you can bring down a lockdown closer to, you know, set the tone, and we all know how important that is. I think the Phillies they really did well at the deadline. I think he's gonna make the biggest impact. Let's just put it at that.
Yeah, and the Mariners they're right behind us in the wild card race. So
yeah.
Let's just say I wouldn't be surprised if they end up eclipsing us too, like the Red Sox.
Exactly.
Brother, let's move it on. So last week we talked about the blockbuster deal between ESPN and the NFL, which included ESPN acquiring the popular NFL Red Zone channel, among other assets. Now news reports that suggest that ESPN is planning to introduce ads to Red Zone. I hate that. Potentially putting an end to the channel's signature commercial-free football experience. Is ESPN ruining what they made Red Zone so special?
100%, as they do everything else. They've done that to their own product. First Take used to be good. It's really unwatchable now. Pat McAfee show was good when it was on YouTube. It's unwatchable now. Unfortunately, they're going to do the same for the Red Zone. And, you know, you spoke about it, brother, in our SummerSlam preview show about TKO, about greed. And that's going to potentially water down your product. And that's what's going to happen with Red Zone. They're going to put ads. And this is the reason why people watch Red Zone. It's because of that. You know, it's because of when you're watching a regular game, you don't want to go through the commercials. So it's like, hey, you know what? I know most people do it. When you're watching your team, you have your team, right? Well, now it's different because you can stream everything on at the same time. But I remember when Red Zone first came out, when it was actually free. I remember that. It was free if you had the NFL Network. I would watch my Giants, and in the commercial, I would put on Red Zone because I knew I was going to get action in between the commercial breaks. And you change that, it's, you know, it's upsetting because what's next? You're going to get rid of Scott Hansen and put Stephen A. Smith? I hate it. What about you, brother?
I'm not the biggest fan of it. You know, the only way that I could ever be okay with that is if they ever did, and we know they're going to, if they did like a picture-in-picture situation where they maybe put an ad on the side while the action's still going. But at the end of the day, that's not the way it's going to work, I believe, and ESPN is going to find a way. The whole point
of the Red Zone is that it's to be ad-free. It's to have the constant action going.
Yeah, I would say that, yeah, as long as they're like, you know, if they were to do a picture-in-picture and just have it on the side, not so much a commercial, but maybe an ad for something on the side as that's going on. And I think we've seen that in Red Zone, like that will happen. So it's more so that I would like to see more than a whole full commercial going on and I hear Whopper, 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 Whopper. I don't want to hear that. So, like, the worst thing that could ever happen during the NFL season or any game is when your team is losing, somebody scores on them, and then you hear the Whopper, Whopper. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. ESPN,
and
please.
That's the problem with them stream ads. You get the same one constantly.
Right.
It's not even like you watching on regular TV, you get different commercials. You get the same one. So.
Right. So I would not be surprised if that's one of my Sundays going forward. And I love having Red Zone up. You know, like you said, I love having my Patriots on, and then I have Red Zone streaming, or vice versa. Let's say the game is until later, I'll watch Red Zone all day until my team plays later on. So I hope that they don't ruin that experience for me and, you know, me and my family and friends, and just fingers crossed.
That's gonna suck, yeah. But let's stick with football, brothers. The NFC East could be going it could be undergoing some seismic shifts there, brother. As two major stars has reportedly requested trades this week. Washington Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin and the Dallas Cowboys superstar linebacker Michael Parsons. I'm happy. Get these guys out of the division, brother. Could these trades demand derail both team season before even beginning?
When we're talking about the Cowboys, you need Micah Parsons. You absolutely 100% need Micah Parsons. And I saw this graphic and I sent it to the group chat, and it was the most funniest thing because it's true. It was a graphic of which teams should trade for Micah Parsons. And guess what? You know which ones? The only team that wasn't there? The Cowboys. Every team should be in the runnings to try to get a 26-year-old Micah Parsons, who happens to be one of the best defensive players in the league. Make the trade, sign him, lock him down. You want that guy on your team, especially when he's happy. Now, I have feelings about Michael Parsons and his podcasting during the season, but that's a different story. When it comes to Terry McLaurin, I mean, I want my Patriots to make a signing because that would be a bona fide number one receiver.
You hear who he's kind of linked to, right?
Well, I know he has there's some pass with him and Vrabel, but who else is he linked to?
Yeah, the Steelers are inquiring about
They got DK Metcalf. Leave him alone. But yeah, Terry McLaurin, I don't know. The Commanders, this is a guy who was playing and balling for you guys when you had nobody.
And he elevated in the playoffs. He elevated. Right.
The floor's yours, bro.
I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy. I think in terms of the question, could it derail both teams? I think derail is a strong word. Distractions, heck yeah. You know, when you got guys that want to get paid, you got guys who's requesting to be traded. That's questions that you don't want guys having to answer at training camp, having to answer every post game of every game, because everything now gets magnified. If Terry McLaurin gets 6 attempts in the first game and maybe 1 catch, it's going to be looked at like, well, are the Commanders trying to lower his value? You know what I mean? Like, you're going to get that. And those are the distractions, honestly, Giants, we can use. We need every advantage that we can possibly get going into this season. So, personally, I'm very happy that both guys are disgruntled and they want to make their franchise disgruntled. So, yes, let's continue it. Let it linger. I want every advantage I could possibly get for my team. So, those are my thoughts, brother.
All right, brother, we are going to move forward because we got some really good news coming out of Comic-Con this week. So, Sony and Marvel just revealed that Tom Holland's new Spider-Man suit for Spider-Man Brand New Day. And, brother, the suit is fire. The movie's going to be swinging into theaters on July 31st, 2026. The cast so far includes Tom Holland, which we already expected, but Zendaya, Mark Ruffalo, Jacob Batalon, which is Ned, if you don't remember him, and John Bernthal, Punisher. And only because I say that because of his actor name, but Ned. John Bernthal as Punisher and Michael Mando as Scorpion, which is a callback into the first movie, so that's nice to see. With Marvel going full ground level and gritty this time around, who are you most ready to see tear it up in the new street level Spidey era?
It's got to be Punisher, right? I think that's it. Like, it's got to be Punisher. You see the memes with the Jake Gyllenhaal with the guns when they're getting ready, and then now, you know, it was rumored for some time, I think even before Punisher, that Mark Ruffalo's Hulk was going to be in the film. Now it's pretty much been confirmed. And now you're hearing that basically Spider-Man, Punisher, and Hulk are all going to be fighting each other until they realize who's the ultimate bad guy in the film. This, I wish I can give him credit, and I wish I archived the tweet. But someone within the comic universe was basically saying this Spider-Man movie is geared up and basically written to be a live-action episode of the Amazing Spider-Man cartoon that we all grew up in the 90s. And yes, I have a bias towards Spider-Man. Yes, that is my favorite character of all time. I think that is one of the greatest cartoon series made. You know, with X-Men, with Batman animated series, with that. So
Top three. The top three.
Yeah, the fact that we're gonna get a live action adaptation of that cartoon is ridiculous. Now you're hearing Daredevil's involved. You're hearing Kingpin's involved. This might be in the obviously they're filming it now, but just early predictions. This might be the best Spider-Man movie we ever get. I am beyond excited. As you mentioned, bro, the suit is damn near comic accurate. Sign me up. Sign me up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really interested to see how they bring in the Scorpion aspect. We already knew that he was a guy in the background from the first movie, and then, you know, he had talks with Vulture's character in the prison. Toombs. So that was really cool to see that there was a callback to somebody, because there were so many, like, rumors of what could have been the villain, and I'm just like, and Mr. Negative, I think, is one of the persons that they have mentioned that may be in this as well, as far as a villain, and they may have Stephen Young be the villain, and I like Mr. Negative, actually, but I think he's more of a Miles villain than he is a Spider-Man villain. So, with all of this being said, I am looking forward to seeing the Punisher and Spider-Man interact, because just like Daredevil doesn't like the guns and the killing of people, you're going to have Spider-Man also be on that same level of just like, hey, I don't want you killing them, like I could save him, or there's another way, there's always another way. So that's going to be interesting, and how you throw Hulk into that, I really want to see how you do. Maybe that's a tie-in with maybe the Scorpion suit, maybe there's Gamma and Scorpion suit in this one. We'll see, but I'm excited couldn't be, like, it's really underselling how much I'm looking forward to this movie, and it all leads into Doomsday as well. So
and obviously the director of Shang-Chi is going to be directing this new Spider-Man movie, and supposedly I think Shang-Chi is supposed to, I guess, play a little part in it as well. There's a lot of small-time villains that's going to be in this movie. I think it's going to connect. If Kingpin's going to be in it, I think it's going to connect all the Kingpin. You know, because Mr. Negative, he with the Chinese mob, right? Is what you said, right?
Yeah, the Yakuza mob.
With the Yakuza mob. So I could easily see, like, Kingpin. Obviously, if you see the Daredevil series, he's trying to clean up the whole vigilantes, and he's got his own, you know, underground cop team to kind of dismantle that. So I could see him easily getting Mr. Negative to try to take out all these vigilantes. I'm excited for that, brother. But brother, it's time to wrap up this show, and we can't wrap up this show without sharing you guys the highlight of the week.
He's on fire!
All right, y'all. Highlight of the week goes to a particular player that he must have known he was getting traded, because he made an amazing catch in his final days as an Oriole. And it goes to newly acquired center fielder for the New York Mets, Cedric Mullins. And Cedric Mullins, honestly, he made an unreal catch, robbing Toronto Blue Jays' Ali Sanchez of a go-ahead home run. Cedric Mullins, we did touch on, he's 30 years old. He might be a little bit past his prime. But that's offensively, defensively, and this clip, as Dave got playing right now, just shows that he is still an elite center fielder. Really got the hops right now, and now he's going to be doing that for you guys in Queens. Shout out to Cedric Mullins. He knew he was coming to New York, and he said, wait a minute. The only way to get in the good graces of New Yorkers is being a recipient of the highlight of the week here on the Ozone. Shout out to Cedric Mullins. He's the newly acquired Met. Brother, what you thought of this catch?
It was amazing. Honestly, this was the right move for the Mets to make. Everybody was talking about getting this guy from the Red Sox, especially when you went over to the game. But I think this is Duran, and this is one of those moves that is just like, you know what? You don't always have to go for the big star name. You can, or as far as, like, you know, Duran compared to him. I just say this was the right move, and clearly this play shows you exactly that.
No, yeah, shout out to Cedric Mullins. He's always been, he's been a good player. Like I said, he's just a little bit long in the tooth, a little bit past his prime now. Maybe, he's in the stages of getting past his prime, but he's still high-level defender, and he proved it here. So shout out to Cedric Mullins, and because you're a recipient of the highlight of the week, and now that you're at the Mets, you have the possibility of getting more of those awards, more of them accolades from us here at the Ozone. But guys, We want to thank you guys so much for tapping in with your boys. Remember to follow us on all our social media platforms. We are available on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Reddit, and help me, brother.
Let's do that again. Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, Threads, and YouTube. What's the one that I'm missing? X.
Yeah, I said Twitter.
Twitter.
Know. We're available wherever everything. This is why Dave has it on the graphic, guys. We just came out with a video Saturday about us successfully predicting that Seth Rollins was going to cash in on CM Punk. You know what I mean? Dave is always cooking up these videos. So that's the way to follow us, and that's the way to also to be reminded, guys, that we are going to be moving to Wednesday starting September 10th as we start to cover the football season. But guys, let us know in the comments below, what do you think about Aaron Boone and his lack of accountability to the New York Yankees? Let me know your go ahead, brother.
No, I was going to wait for you to finish. I just wanted to put a side note. We are not covering SummerSlam coverage besides the mention of CM Punk, just because at this time of recording, SummerSlam Night 2 is today, so we will be going over that next week, just as a side note.
We'll definitely go over it next week, just so we know the results. But guys, let them. But if you are watching this after SummerSlam Night 2, if you want, drop a couple pointers or whatever you feel how SummerSlam went. Let us know in the comments below. And if you haven't watched SummerSlam yet, be sure to check out our video first that is currently out right now on YouTube. As Dave and I with special guest Jeremy from the Rock and Nose channel, we previewed and we break down SummerSlam. And let's just be honest, it wasn't just us just talking bluff. We actually called out some things that happened on the show. So, guys, we thank you guys so much. Remember to like and subscribe and continue to share it, man. Like, you guys letting your friends know, letting everyone know about our channel is what's going to help us grow. And we appreciate the love and support from you guys. And we really do. Until then, guys, we will tap in with you guys next week. Have a beautiful week. You were checking into the Ozone, guys. Peace.
It's a sports throne. Let's kick it off right. Welcome to the Ozone.